The other point that they're calling us is that we're terrorists.
Are you a terrorist?
Well, if you speak for your country, whenever a group of people have been fighting for their country, they've always been branded terrorists. George Washington in the United States of America was a terrorist in the British eyes. Mandela was a terrorist in Western eyes. Ben Bella was a terrorist in French eyes. One could even have said, if you were to ask Marital Peter who de Gaulle was, he would say de Gaulle was a terrorist.
The Southern Cameroons have been with La Republique for 57 years now. In those 57 years, our people don't own guns. We used to have a mobile force which they integrated into their own police force and their military. So we have never, in fact, they destroyed our leadership. So we don't even have any leadership.
So each time you have a group of people fighting for liberty and liberation of their country, they're always tagged as terrorists, terrorists, terrorists. Of course, one man terrorist and another man freedom fighter, and so on. But I think the word terrorism is nowadays being used rather too promiscuously by countries that themselves are trying to hide under terrorism to enforce their own agenda.
We can name names of people who we know have died and we accuse La Republique. You know what happened to Babejwa? What's the accusation about? What do you think happened to Babejwa? And I just want to go as far back as where we believe that they've been killing us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think, and here again, we have to look at the definition of the words that we use. Who is a terrorist? You understand? Because when we define,
let me just cut you short. I wanted to start and show who has had arms and who has been doing killing in our land up to after October 1.
Yeah, well,
which culminated in October 1, where they actually built an army and came. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then recently, when Pobi actually went and declared war.
No, what
in all of this, we never killed anybody.
No, listen now, because terror is not just killing. Terror is creating,
I think you're correct,
an atmosphere of fear and intimidation amongst the people, amongst the population, innocent people going about their businesses.
Yes.
So that is where I want us to start from.
You're
because
correct.
When you understand what that is, then you can then put all of those things in context.
No, you're correct.
Because the terror that the Republic started raining on us was all the way from 1961.
Yes.
When they abolished our military, seized whatever things we bought at the airport to reinforce our police, our mobile wing police. They seized those, sent in their gendarmes, sent in their gendarmes, started arresting people, all the calais that they were doing.
Yes.
Brought in pool tax, create all these checkpoints. That from there, if you said anything, they
looted Ombe that had a lot of that's a technical school.
Yes.
That had a lot of heavy equipment. All the equipment was moved to La Republique du Cameroon. Then they moved all our public PWD road grading material.
Yeah, that is the economic part of it. Let us just look at the social aspect.
There's the terror,
the terror that they have created in our.
Well, when you say that, here's what I remember: that when we're little, we used to remember that people will be going to work in the morning. They will do the kale that you were talking about, and they make all of them sit in mud.
Yes.
They make sure that if you were well dressed, you sit in the mud. And that was obviously terrorizing you.
Yes.
So that you become afraid of them.
Yes.
And if you think that you're so human, that you take care of yourself, they want to show that you're a pig.
Yes.
And put you down to sit in the mud.
And you can look at the way the 1972 election, the so-called election of the referendum in 1972 was organized. How many days did it take? They put out the army, threaten people, beat people up. By the time you get up in the morning, the whole neighborhood is encircled by gendarmes, beating people for nothing, arresting people, throwing people in trucks. That is creating terror.
Do you know that 20th May was Ahijo's wife's birthday?
Leave that aside.
So that was a birthday to her wife,
to
his wife.
They built on those things. And now they are coming out in the open. You hear these guys in some of our shows that we have done. One of these guys enumerated from 1995 the people that were caught in Kumbu and tortured, and some of them locked up in Bafusam, and some of them died there. People who have been arrested at every single turn. You have all these checkpoints. They beat up people, pick people up, lock them up, break their legs. Reba has talked about all of these things. That is terror. Creating fear in the people, intimidating the people, making the people to be submissive. They can't think, they should only be afraid. That is terror. And then when we decide that we don't want to take this anymore, they come with their guns. If students are asking for the GCE board, they shoot and kill. They are asking for whatever thing they are protesting.
SDF comes and asks to form another party with his leader.
Shoot and
they kill people there, yes.
So they kill at every single turn. And the reason they are doing that is to put fear and intimidate the people, so that the people cannot just dare to think that they can question this particular government. And when the people said, no, we are not going to take this, we are going to rise up, they come with guns. In December of 2016, all through 2017, in September of 2017, on the 1st of October 2017, and every single day, I can guarantee you, every single day, somebody has been shot, somebody has been maimed, somebody has been raped, somebody has been locked up. That is terror. I want you sitting at home and watching us now to listen to what I have said and ask yourself, is there any of the things that I have described that the people of Ambazonia have done to the people of La Republique?
Absolutely not.
There are citizens of Ambazonia who have been living with us. Those who ran away from the torture and the oppression of La République du Cameroon. They came, we gave them shelter.
You mean citizens of La République?
Citizens of La République.
Yes.
The UPCs and all those people who ran and came. Today, some of them are the collaborators turning us over to La République du Cameroon.
Yes.
Because they live in our communities, they act as agents. So the people that we gave them shelter are collaborating with our tormentors and instilling torture in our communities. So we have given them love, we have given them support, we have given them everything.
We've shown them kindness.
Kindness. So there is nothing about we being terrorists, because that is the definition of a terrorist: somebody who creates fear and kills innocent people. And the victims of the recent hearings that they had in Switzerland,
the human rights,
the Convention Against Torture.
Yes,
they said it there. That is torture. Doing everything that they have done to us, the burning of houses that was done recently in Kimbong, that is what the Janjaweeds in Sudan did to the people of South Sudan. Burning of houses to intimidate people and make people run away. That is what they are doing to us. And those are the real terrorists. Those are the people coming into our communities early in the morning, kicking down doors, arresting people, pointing guns at people, asking people to get out of their cars and walk on their knees. So that is the terror. And who is the chief terrorist? It is Mr. Bia, with his lieutenants, Issa Chiruma, Laurent Esso, Fam Dongo, you can name them.
You know, I was going to say that terrorism is like racism, right? If you don't have the power to intimidate, if you don't have the power to kill, you cannot be a terrorist.
That's right.
We have never had any of those. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because in racism, the group that has power, that's the only group that can affect racism. So we cannot affect terrorism because we've never been. First of all, we've never been. I mean, you know, in our people have been describing us as pacifists the whole time.
Mm-hmm. That is what we have been.
And that's what we have been. They come for our government, we say, okay, take. They come for PMO, we say, okay, take. they come for economic destruction, we say take. And they've been taking and taking and taking on. In fact, the only time they begin to run into trouble is because they are beginning now to actually extinguish us from our land. They refuse to give us jobs. They take all our jobs. They start trying to turn our citizens to be francophones.
And that is where people have drawn the line.
That's where people have drawn the line, that you can take everything, but you cannot come and own me and own my children.
That is where people have
That's
drawn the line.
That's where our people have drawn the line. And then people who came to power, the regime that came to power in La République through genocide, through terrorism, now turns around and calls us terrorists.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
I mean, you will be surprised that they have never been. Ahijo was never elected anywhere.
No.
He was never elected anywhere.
No, Paul Biya has never been elected.
So these people, we have been an organized people, and they themselves, they know it. So they have brought their disorder and every single thing to ruin our communities. And they sit today and they are calling us terrorists.
And what they have been waiting for from the 10th of November, when the lawyers first went on the street, what they have been waiting for is for an opportunity for Paul Biya to come and say, hey, the world cannot see that we have been attacked by terrorists, so that they can use the only weapon that they know how to use. They don't know how to dialogue, they don't know how to be nice, they don't know what equity, all they know, because they came to power by the barrel of the gun, they were waiting to take over the southern Cameroons by the barrel of the gun.
You cannot claim that a person is terroristic if that all that person is doing is trying to assert the independence of the territory from where it came from. So no, I'm not a terrorist, and yes, I'm a terrorist if you consider the fact that one is advocating for independence of one's country. If that means terrorism, then that's a label would easily and gladly accept. But I think we must use that word much more cautiously.